Good morning, students. We have been reading The Tyger by William Blake, a revolutionary romantic poet. And in this poem, so far we have read that Lamb is talking about that who has made such a fearful, such a ferocious, an angry animal, such a dangerous animal. And again and again he is asking this question that, oh tiger, who has created you? Who has made those muscles of yours, that hard heart of yours? Who has that much power to create you? What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp, dare its deadly terrors clasp? Now he says that what the hammer means. Now he is giving the analogy of making some आयरन यूटेंसिल. जब हम लोहे का काम करते हैं तो जो लोहार जो काम करता है वेरियस, जो उनके लिए वो कह रहा है व्हाट द हैमर, विच hammer was there, whose hammer was it which had shaped your body? What the chain, and what was the chain with which he has hold you, or that power has hold you to shape in this format? In what furnace was thy brain, and in what furnace your brain was being made ready? ना, जैसे देखो हम लोहे को जब पीटते हैं, लोहे को जब हम शेप देते हैं, लोहे को जब हम कोई भी आकार देना चाहते हैं तो हम क्या करते हैं? पहले उसे फर्नेस में, पहले उस भट्टी में गर्म करते हैं ना. उसको पकड़ने के लिए हम कोई चिमटा, कोई चेन, कोई ऐसा दूसरा ऑब्जेक्ट काम में लेते हैं. फिर हम उसे एनविल पे रखते हैं. एनविल जो लोहे की एक ट्राइसेप स्ट्रक्चर होती है, यू माइट हैव सीन दिस विद दोज पीपल वर्किंग ऑन आयरन. और उस पे जब वो उसको हैमर से बीट करते हैं, हैमर से उसको बार बार पीटते हैं, और वो डिजायर्ड शेप या डिजायर्ड जो डिजाइन होती है वो प्राप्त की जाती है. सो ही इज जस्ट ब्रिंगिंग दैट एनालॉजी दैट इन विच फर्नेस योर ब्रेन वाज बीइंग put on fire, it was being made hot, and then it was being put on the anvil, and with the strokes of hammer it was being shaped in this form. What dread grasp, dare its deadly terrors clasp? And those deadly terrors which the tiger causes to the humanity, to the mankind, so those terrifying grasp, those terrifying clasps of its this animal, who has grasped them? है ना, वो जो इतना भयानक ये जो प्राणी है, इतनी ज़बरदस्त इसकी पकड़ होती है, इसके नुकीले पंजे जो होते हैं, उनको किसने पकड़ा, किसने इतनी देर तक होल्ड पे रखा जब तक ये टोटली कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? As we have talked about earlier, na, that he has also written another volume, Songs of Innocence, and in that volume he has written a poem, The Lamp. And similarly, the tiger is just a comparison to that poem, The Lamp. So here he is again coming to that point. He says that when the stars threw down their spears, spears means their rage. जब स्टार्स जो हैं अपनी किरणों को नीचे फेंकते हैं, अपनी किरणों से इस पृथ्वी को प्रकाशित करते हैं, एंड वाटर्ड हेवन विद देयर टीयर्स एंड द ड्यू ड्रॉप्स, ना, रात के समय ओस की बूंदें गिरती हैं. सो ही इज ब्रिंगिंग दैट एनालॉजी दैट परहैप्स द स्टार्स आर शेडिंग टीयर्स ऑन द अर्थ. So he says at that time, means when at the time of evening, when it's the time of night, when the stars threw down their spears of rage and they shed their tears to water the heaven, did he smile his work to see? Then that person, that entity, that power who has made the tiger, has it smiled to see the beauty of his creation, the completion of his creation? This is what he is asking, that okay, I don't know who has made thee, I don't know that power who has created such a ferocious animal, such a dangerous animal, but still he asked one thing, that whether that same power, that same person, that same entity, has it smiled by seeing the completion of its creation. जब उसको बनाया गया, जब टाइगर बन गया, when it has become complete, तो क्या वो अपने इस काम को देख के मुस्कुराया होगा? बिकॉज दिस इज जनरल हैपन्स, है ना. इवन इफ वी मेक समथिंग वेरी बैड, है ना. मान लो जैसे हम कोई चित्र बनाते हैं, when we were kids, or when you might have small kids in our house, they make some drawing. It might not be a refined one, but still they feel very happy after completing it. ना हम भी जब भी हम कुछ क्रिएट करते हैं, दिस इज द रूल ऑफ नेचर ना, कि जब हम कुछ क्रिएट करते हैं, देन दैट क्रिएशन गिव्स अस प्लेजर. उसको देख के हमें खुशी मिलती है. सो दिस इज व्हाट ही इज आस्किंग, दैट द पर्सन, the entity, the power which has created the lamp, has it also felt that kind of happiness? Has it also smiled to see it? Did he who made the lamp make thee? And now he comes to the most important question, that who make the creatures on this earth? Who make this earth? God. So he asked this question, that does the same person who has made the lamp, who has made us, who has made this earth, has he made you? Means now he is asking that basic question of to the religious doctrines, or to the religion, or to the principles of those God's worship, that if good was created by God, then who has created evil? Perhaps, yes, the answer is one. That if everything is created by God, then what does it mean? That evil, as good as well as evil, was also created by God. This is what he is trying to ask. This is what he is trying to propagate in this poem. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Again, he is asking that very same question which he has asked in the very first stanza, that tiger, tiger, you are burning bright in the forests of night, and who has created, who has framed this fearful symmetry of yours? So again we see that in this poem, if we look at this poem, if we examine this poem closely, then we find that again the writer is trying to examine the intention of God and the motivation behind creating both the tiger and the lamb, means the good and the evil, good and bad. And this poem is a kind of revolution against the industrialization. The figure of tiger, as I have told you earlier, this is a kind of reminder of what we have lost in the rise towards industrialization. Means we have lost that natural affinity with nature, that common understanding of nature. Blake wants us to reconnect to the wonders of nature, to experience awe in the face of God's creation. Look, what he is trying to say, we can say that earlier when we were in that primitive state, and before that industrial revolution, everything, each and everything was created by God. And when we used to see wonderful things, then we used to praise God. But now, with the help of industrialization, or with the development of industrial, what is happening? Industries are creating wonders. And instead of feeling that awe, that praise for God, we have started feeling that wonder, that awe, that praise for the machines also. So this is what he is trying to say, that we should respect, we should reconnect back to the nature, and we should feel that awe towards the creations of God. The tiger in this poem, it has a kind of representation of that spirit of industrialization process which is going on at that time in England. And throughout this poem, the poet, he seems to be asking that what we should infer about man or about God, that this fearful and deadly process is allowed to happen. Means he says that who has allowed this process? Which process? The process of industrialization. Means he uh, takes this process as something evil, as something bad, as something fearful. So he says that how can we, the human beings or the superpower, the God, he is allowing this fearful and deadly process to exist and to develop. And the poet asks this question, that why? Why God would allow evil to exist in the world if he has complete control over the world and cares for our well-being? Means this is what we are supposed to think. This is what we are supposed to believe, that the whole universe was being created by God himself. And he is the only power, he is the only entity who is controlling the well-being of we human beings. Means we should whatever we are to get in our life, what pleasures, what pains we are to get in our life, they all are being controlled by God. So the poet is questioning this thing, that why God has allowed such fearful animals, such fearful happenings to exist in this world if he really wants our well-being. अगर भगवान सच में हमारा भला चाहता है, अगर भगवान सच में हमारे प्रति करुणा रखता है, अगर भगवान सच में हमसे प्रेम करता है वी ह्यूमन बीइंग से, तो evil should not be there. तो क्या होना चाहिए था कि बुराई वहाँ होनी नहीं चाहिए थी. But this is happening. So who is propagating this evil? Means he is questioning that religious theories of all benevolence of God, कि भगवान जो है वो all benevolent है. हम चाहे जो भी बुरे काम करें, अच्छे काम करें, भगवान हमारे सब कर्मों को माफ कर देते हैं. We ultimately get salvation. But he is questioning that thing, that either it is the fault of human beings or it is something in the designs of God, in the planning of God, that evil has been originated and it has even developing. So who is responsible? The poet is pointing towards both the human beings as well as the God. So this is it. Thank you.